Day 2 at FACEIT Finals. DreamHack Valencia is here. We're already halfway through the matches, and IP just came off of a very confident win against Liquid. But first off, I want to ask about TSM, obviously, because you had a close game against them. You've been very criticized about your T size, you not being too innovative, inventive, I guess, and that somewhat showed in the TSM game. You only got 4 rounds as T. What do you think about that? What are you doing to make your T sides better, I think?
You mean in general?
In general, yes.
We've been kind of sloppy recently. I mean, we're trying always to invent small stuff, but it's maybe not shown that well to the people, at least the public, at least the fans. And we think at least we are doing more than it's shown, at least. But we're gonna take a time off after this tournament and actually go deeper into our tactics and see what's wrong with it and make new ones as well.
There were some questions about Natu as a coach, him being like more of a calming the players down and stuff like that, not very strategical. How is he helping you with the T sides that you have, or the play in general?
I think he's doing a great job, to be honest. When he joined the team in the beginning, he made a lot of changes, like how we should work the T side and so on. He's always giving us good advices and so on. So it's could be more like we're not really understanding him, or it could also be that he maybe is not doing that much like he should do. But in my opinion, and I think the rest of the guys that are agreeing on it, and even him, I think we're on a good track and we know what we're doing. But I don't know, if people are criticizing us that much, and I mean we of course have seen it, we're kind of surprised, but not really. It's a hard question to ask if you ask answer. I mean, if you ask me.
Do you think being playing the same kind of style for the 3 years, basically, you've only changed one player, so there is not too much change going on? Do you think that makes it hard for you to adapt to a new play style?
It could very be. I mean, just look at Fnatic when they took in 2 new players. They changed everything basically, and I think that the players who was in the team before then liked what they had in ideas, and the old players had some new ideas they wanted to try out and so on. So we have always changed one player, and we always been going with our core, and it's hard time to time to get in new ideas and so on. But we're trying our best, and maybe it's not enough. I think we maybe need to put in more hours on it.
All right, going into the games against Fnatic now, it's going to be for the second spot in the playoffs for the next to last spot. What are you expecting from that game? You've faced off against each other quite a lot of times. DreamHack Summer comes to mind, for example. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think that we could give a strong performance here against them, but I don't want to say too much because I'm not one of those guys who, if you gonna predict a score or something like that, I've never been so.
You're superstitious, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd rather wait and see what happens.
Okay, what about in terms of maps? Because once again, you've kind of been criticized for your map pool. What do you think? How well do you think you match up against Fnatic in that sense?
To be honest, I think we've been opening up more and more since Ali joined the team, and I think we're kind of good on every map, but apparently not, according to the public. But it's just how we think and feel about stuff like that. But going to the Fnatic game especially, I think both of us know what we want to play against each other, and I think that happens pretty often, and we feel pretty satisfied what we're playing against them, and I think the same is for them, for us. So it's going to be just a good game if you ask me.
All right, so one of the last questions, you've been spotted using a different setup to what you're used to have. You're swapped out with Alu, and Forrest swapped out with Exist. What's the reasoning behind this? Basically, people want to know.
Try new things, nothing else.
No, try new things, NIP. Last question, Kinguin have been showing some hints of improvements. They have a coach that's leading them now. They kind of switched to it during this event, actually. That and the international lineups, do you think that's the future for CSGO? Do you think it's going to be the future of CS at some point?
I'm welcoming at least the whole idea of it, and people need to at least give more effort to it, since just look at Kinguin. There's so many split personalities, split countries, and where they're born and so on, and it could be a shock for them, how the culture and stuff. But it seems like when I met them yesterday, it's just they're friends basically, and that's a good sign to see it from at least outside our point of view. But it's also hard to actually say anything about them because they've been showing strong performance here. They're 16-0 versus Pro and they won there. Then they're gonna play Navi soon. It's gonna be a tough game, and they could also win that game if you ask me, because they are strong players in general. But I cannot judge them because I really like the whole thing, and I just want to wait to see what happens basically. And I think this is just anyway in the beginning of the team. So, and I mean they swap up then to like Dennis like recently and so on. So I'd rather be kind of quiet regarding the subject because I'd rather wait and see it to like at least end of the year. I'm just welcoming the whole idea, and I think it's fun, and I think the community loves it.
Okay, thank you, Chris, for the interview. Do you have any last words, shoutouts to NIP sponsors?
Every sponsors that we're having, we have so many right now, so I'm probably forgetting everyone. And to my girlfriend that I love so much, my teammates is awesome, my friends, my family, everyone who's working in the community, who's doing all the work behind the scene, and the fans who's watching.
Okay, so that was the first interview from day 2 at FACEIT Finals. Make sure to stay tuned to hl2.org for our coverage.